Where are the kids?
He's here to take the spirit's children!
Korean developer Abyss are swinging for the fences with their open-world action-adventure Crimson Desert, a spin-off single-player game standing on the shoulders of their MMORPG Black Desert. I got to go hands-on with the game on PC, and I came away with more details about the technology that powers it and why this could be one of the biggest games of 2025. Now, Crimson Desert uses Abyss's own in-house new proprietary BlackSpace engine. This new engine is very impressive in the modern world of commercialized and commoditized engines, offering all the modern features and functions of those same competitors. A core pillar is support for multi-platform development, aided by dual API support in DirectX 12 and Vulkan, making it efficient and within the team's full control to harness its benefits across each platform. Another is the key temporal upscaling ingredient required from multiple vendors. The demo I played fully supports AMD's FSR3 and the team confirmed FSR4 come launch, as the API front end is compatible. In addition, the team confirmed DLSS will also be included, but for others such as PSSR for the PS5 Pro or Intel's XeSS, this was not confirmed. Now, the team may include other options when it lands on PC, PS5 and Xbox Series consoles and even Apple Mac, but we'll have to wait till launch. The demo was a few months old. I confirmed with the team that it was the same build from GDC in March and running on an AMD Radeon 7800 XT GPU and a Ryzen 7800X 3D CPU. The hands-on demo and the release footage from the team was capped at 4K 60fps for our session and this direct capture you see, but I was allowed to push this higher without capture. The RX 7000 series GPUs are good, but even within AMD's GPU range, it can scale up from here, and in reality, the final game will be significantly more polished and more performant come launch. The visual quality is great, but the image presented upscaler artifacts, and it has a lot to handle here, with heavy use of motion blur per object and per pixel, particles, alpha transparencies, foliage, fur, hair, and more. It would be a very hard task for any upscaler. Image quality is good, but the telltale signs of ghosting, dithered artifacts, foliage flicker and such do show up from time to time, leaving little doubts of FSR3's fingerprints here. FSR4, PSSR and DLSS will certainly fare better if included in the final release builds, but I'm sure we will see big strides in this already solid base, and it certainly was a looker.
Then I'll turn you inside out.
Now, where would a new gaming engine be without ray tracing, which is included in the toolkit with real-time global illumination, shadows and looks to include reflections, but it is not alone in the feature-rich technical options the team can pick from. For example, even without ray tracing enabled, the game still supports real-time lighting and global illumination, and it falls back to signed distance fields, ray marching or SDF light calculations. Now, this is similar to ray tracing, but it's less precise and thus less expensive to run, which helps it scale down to a wider user hardware base. Real-time physics and fluid simulation are also supported in addition to GPU accelerated particles, offering vast rendering scale complete with fluid-based fog volumes and volumetric clouds, dynamic weather, procedural snow, tessellated geometry and landscapes, physics-based water simulation that collides with rocks and itself, creating some of the very best water in games I've seen for years, and up there with Rockstar-like quality, foliage, hair, cloth physics, along with procedural destruction and weighted combat, and complex AI state models and procedural generation all offer up a full suite of options for the team to tailor the engine to each game and platform. All modern rendering techniques such as screen space effects, ray tracing, parallax occlusion maps, physically based rendering, procedural generation, destruction and much more ensure it can keep up with its peers and its competitors.
Well, I'll be damned. A grey mate? Here of all places.
Now, technical bullet points do not a game make, and the team knows this. Like the hallowed days of the C64 Amiga through Sega Saturn to PS2, engines were often made around or for the game itself. Here, the team have done the same, creating the technology focus of the engine to drive their creative aims, but also building an entire pipeline within their technology stack. starting with their own motion capture and art studio to create smooth motion, cinematics and excellent visuals on display. The real-time cinematics use the motion capture well to aid nuance, charm and flair throughout, but it's also to capture the action performance that translates into the strikes, flips, kicks and combat from those core combat sections. Now this level of quality and investment in the game's development stack shows that Pearl Abyss are ramping up to deliver high-quality AAA games with the full suite of engine technology, motion capture studios, in-house art, design and sound teams. And the results here are very, very impressive, from the first title to use these tools. But Crimson Desert will be followed up by the equally but vastly different looking DokeV, which shares the engine and development pipeline, but it creates its own style, gameplay and quality from those very same tools. Now this reflects well on the team's potential to deliver a varied range of games and styles for all audiences.
Even out in rain. If you like, I shall grant you wealth, power.
Thought you could still feel Draven's breath.
Now during these encounters that I tested in the demo, it was apparent to me that the game's control and combat system is very intricate, offering a plethora of moves, timing, tactics and awareness, all being key. Button bashing will quickly end in defeat. Instead, parries, dodges, magic, projectiles and more are all vital for success. Now many of these had swarms of enemies that could divert your attention from the main foe, such as these humanoid terracotta pots, which show off the game's excellent particle system, procedural destruction and artistic flair on magical effects. Now these battles also demonstrates the excellent memory and camera system that they have built, often overlooked in reviews and technical analysis, but the game seamlessly goes from gameplay into real-time cutscene and back into gameplay without any obvious jumps, warps, stutters or seams. Now this goes a long way to building the atmosphere and engagement within the game. The amount being thrown around at any given time is immense and at times can be overwhelming. This is where some problems did arise, not least of which was the camera and lock-on. Now normally not a showstopper in boss battles, but due to the amount of enemies you can face, plus the relentless barrage of attacks you can receive, it made the fights artificially harder as I lost orientation and thus missed strikes, leaving me fighting with the camera, scenery and controls. Now they need to improve the lock-on and camera system so it tracks the focused enemy and keeps both vertical and horizontal axis swings within a finite range. This would help balance the frantic style that they aim for, while still allowing you to keep your enemies and strikes within range at all times. The character physics from strikes can also be a little floaty on occasion, which needs the physics model to update to reflect more weight and less momentum when hit. And I gave this feedback to the team and I'm confident that these areas in need of refinement will be improved in the final build. And even though I only had a short time with the game and was certainly thrown in at the deep end, I improved a great deal and I was keen to play more beyond this very small teaser. As a technical chap, first and foremost, the level of passion, skill, scale and quality on show here from Pearl Abyss is exceptional. The game offers a romantic mix of character-driven story, open-world adventure that the development team stated to me was more Breath of the Wild than Witcher 3 in design. Excellent yet tough and rewarding combat that is tough but skill-based, with a plethora of moves, timing, skills and awareness within. It relies on melee and magic with pyrotechnics everywhere thanks to that GPU powered particle system. They have delivered a feature rich engine that offers all the big options needed to succeed and deliver in the AAA space. A clear passion for the medieval period and the rustic, rugged and magical setting has an authentic feel of that history and period. Combat shows a great deal of variety and skill, the engine can scale up and down by a huge margin, and even though performance and quality could certainly be higher, from a game that still has over 6 months or more of development left behind it for release, it already presents an excellent level of quality and performance with much time left to improve each come launch. Now I do look forward to seeing more from the team and the game in the coming months, and also getting more information on the PS5 and Xbox Series X and S versions to see just how close they come to this high-end PC experience. Maybe, just maybe, there can be more than one engine after all. That's it for game technology previews and all things Crimson Desert related. Remember, if you like what we do here on IGN Performance Reviews and Performance Previews, then keep it IGN, and we'll catch you on the next one.